Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM News 10 at 10, where you give you more news in less time. Let's get started. Another night of storms moving through the area tonight, but this time it sounds like the wet weather and the cooler temperatures are sticking around at least for a while. Let's get straight to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo for more on what's in store for the weekend. Jeremy?
Well, Mark, as we head through the evening, this is all the start of our big shift in the weather pattern. And with this big shift comes another round of potential flooding. It's kind of a 1-2 punch. All of the warm weather we've seen as of late has done a number on our mountain snowpack, and all that water that's melted from the snow, well, it has to go somewhere. It's filling the rivers and streams across the region, and right now we have flood watches in place. I'm just kind of looking right now. It looks like that flood warning you see right there for St. Mary's along the Joe, that has expired. It looks like that is no longer in effect and has been replaced by actually a new flood warning. Here we go, just getting the latest information, and it looks like through tomorrow afternoon, Flood River sits at flood stage, and it looks like it is going to rise about another 2.5 feet from where it currently is due to heavy rain and melting snow. That heavy rain moving through as we speak, and you can see widespread down to our south. And this is kind of what we expected. Most of our activity stays a little bit off to our east right now. Another round of thunderstorms moving through Coeur d'Alene, those taking aim at St. Mary's where we have that flood concern, and down to the south it looks like not near as much energy in some of those storms, so we'll keep an eye on those. But overall it looks like those move through here in the next few hours, eventually moving into northern Washington overnight. Tomorrow, more scattered showers across the region as cooler weather sets in and takes us through the next few days.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. I'll check back in with you later in the broadcast. Well, the record-breaking heat that we have been seeing this week is causing mountain snow to melt and rivers to rise, as Jeremy just mentioned. According to the National Weather Service, the inland Northwest is seeing rising water levels. Areas of concern include the Coeur d'Alene River at Cataldo, the St. Joe River at St. Mary's, and the Kettle River up in northern Washington.
Moving water is very powerful. It only takes a foot of water to lift a vehicle off the pavement, 2 feet to lift a truck, and 6 inches of moving water to knock a person off their feet.
Officials say if you see any flooding, you should go to higher ground and avoid driving through the high water. And meantime, right here in town, we are tracking high water levels at Spokane Falls. This was a look at the Spokane River this afternoon. It is currently raging at more than 16,000 cubic feet per second, which, according to Spokane Parks, is enough to fill the Comstock Pool every 2.7 seconds.
Police Department search warrant, come to the door.
New tonight, for the first time, we are seeing newly released body camera video that shows police executing a search warrant at the Moscow murder suspect's apartment after his arrest in December. Brian Koberger is suspected of killing 4 University of Idaho students. Much of the body camera footage is redacted, but you are able to hear police call and ask a judge for another search warrant for a storage unit connected to the suspect's apartment. So according to that video, an officer conducting the search found the door to the storage unit open and could see what they thought could be evidence inside. We are working to break down that rest of the recording. So coming up on KREM 2 News at 11 tonight, you'll be able to hear the conversation between the officer on the scene and the judge who eventually granted them access to that storage unit. Also released tonight, more body camera footage showing Koberger during a traffic stop about a month before the murders. The suspect was pulled over for running a red light. In the video, you can see him questioning the officer about why exactly he was stopped.
I'm actually just from a very rural area, so we just don't have crosswalks.
Oh.
Unless I visit an area where there are crosswalks, and then it's not very frequent.
Yeah.
I do apologize if I was asking you too many questions about the law. I wasn't trying to
No, not at all. Like, I understand you're not from here, so.
Yeah.
Again, this was just about 1 month before the murders. Koberger is expected to appear in court coming up on May 25th. And new tonight, authorities in Chelan are investigating a rafting accident where 1 man died. According to the Chelan County Sheriff's Office, a flipped raft was reported on the Wenatchee River at around 4 today. 7 people were floating in the water downstream from the raft. A 46-year-old man was reportedly not doing well. The others swam him to the shore and then performed CPR. Rescuers arrived and took over CPR, but that man was pronounced dead shortly after. This is a developing story. We will continue to bring you updates as soon as we learn them. And now to a developing story. Former WSU football player Jaden DeLaura is settling a lawsuit filed by a woman who says that he and another teammate sexually assaulted her while they were in high school. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk is looking through the case today and the response from WSU tonight. Kyle?
Well, court documents show DeLaura pleaded guilty to sexual assault before he joined the WSU football team, and we wanted to know if WSU was aware of this. He was a high school football star in Hawaii, and 2 years before stepping onto the field at Washington State University, court documents show Jaden DeLaura pleaded guilty to second-degree sexual assault. Now, DeLaura and a former high school teammate accused in the crime have settled a civil complaint with the victim. The case goes back to October 2018 when DeLaura, his teammate, and the victim were all minors. She told police that both DeLaura and Kamoy Latu, who is currently a safety at the University of Wisconsin, sexually assaulted her in a stairwell on their high school campus following a football game. The victim told police they used force to pull down her pants and choked her to gain cooperation as she tried to resist. The civil complaint states DeLaura later sent a message apologizing and admitted what happened. The victim showed those messages to police, who charged the two, who were teens at the time. They later pleaded guilty to sexual assault, according to court docs, but never served any jail time. Years later, DeLaura joined the WSU football team as quarterback, starting right away his freshman year. KREM 2 reached out to Washington State University and their athletic department, asking if they were aware of DeLaura's conviction and if the university runs background checks on recruits. Senior Associate Athletic Director Bill Stevens did not answer those questions, instead saying, quote, "We will not have a comment on a player at another school." DeLaura is currently the starting quarterback at the University of Arizona. Kamoy Latu is a safety at the University of Wisconsin. The school told the Associated Press they became aware of the civil suit last fall and were not aware of the matter during Latu's initial enrollment, since juvenile records are sealed. Now, as we mentioned, both players have settled a lawsuit filed by the victim, and the amount is not being disclosed. Mark?
Kyle, thank you very much. And now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. We learned from fire officials today the hazmat crew working on the chemical fire that broke out yesterday had to stay through the night to put out some lingering hot spots. That fire broke out at the Inland Empire Paper Company in Spokane Valley yesterday. It took firefighters almost 2 hours to put that fire out and even longer for them to decontaminate the area. Fire officials say an overpressurized tank filled with a bleaching agent was leaking, and that bleaching agent combined with another chemical ultimately sparking the fire. The Spokane County Sheriff's Office is getting a real-time crime center. Its construction could be completed by the end of this year. Deputies say the new space will help them track and prevent crimes by monitoring surveillance cameras.
This will allow them to look at all the different park locations in their car in a very quick fashion, and then they can decide to respond to the area where there is something suspicious happening.
Sheriff Knowles says park trends tend to be hotspots for car prowling. He hopes the cameras will deter this activity and support deputies out on patrol. Meantime, new numbers from WashDOT show the I-90 homeless camp known as Camp Hope continues to shrink. From the latest count, there are now about 33 people living at the camp. WashDOT is also reporting there are now 23 tents, and the number of RVs remained the same as the week before. All of this a significant drop in people at the camp from the more than 600 who were there just last summer. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000 and we'll send them right to your phone.